Today we're going to look at Pro Tools for the first time, and this is the video for LabActivity3. I'm going to click here. It's going to take a little while to open. It's going to initialize hardware, going through its paces. Now this is a plugin that we're not going to be working with today. It's something I own personally, so we're just going to quit that because I'm not going to use it today. And go about the business of it. Pro Tools booting up. Now you're looking at the requester, and what we're going to do now is title the session. Spell it right. And I'm going to note a couple of things. First of all, you've got the file type, broadcast wave, that's what we want. Bit depth, 24-bit, it could be 24 or 16. At this point it really is not going to make a lot of difference to us. Our sample rate is 44.1, that is the CD rate. You see there are higher bit rates as well, but they take up a lot of space on the drive, and this will be sufficient for our needs. I/O settings, well, we don't have a lot on the lab computers. You've got your Scarlett interfaces with the 2 in and 2 out, so we don't have a lot of options here. But here's a very important point here. You have to check your location. Where exactly are you going to be saving this file that you create? Here it's I'm saving it to my directory, which is I'm the user here, Steve Quincy. That's my computer, my personal computer. Music is the folder. So I'm going to go ahead and create that by clicking Create. And here we have it. Now I'm going to go and look in my directory, go into Music, and see if I can find that LabActivity3. Here it is right here. So I'm going to take a look at this guy, and inside of it, we have to look at these critical components right now. This is the Pro Tools session. And this is the audio files folder. You need to have it, both of those things. Super important. You need to have both of those things. Right now the audio files folder is empty because we haven't recorded any audio in it. I'm going to close that and let's get to work taking a look at this Pro Tools session. So what we're looking at right here is open that up. This is the edit window. And there are two main windows in Pro Tools. There's the edit window and there's also the mix window. And you can toggle between them. That means, to switch between them with the command equals. Hold command, press equals, and that will toggle you between the two. They're both empty right now because we haven't created any tracks. I'm going to now open up create a track, and I'm going to bring up the track, Shift Command N, and now I have a requester that's asking me what sort of track do I want to create. Well, I can create one or any number of tracks. They can be mono or stereo. In this case we're going to do mono. They can be audio, aux input, master fader, VCA, master, MIDI track, instrument track. We're going to be explaining all those as we move through. And we're also going to determine whether or not it's displayed in samples or ticks. We're going to leave it at samples. And so this is what we're going to create, one mono audio track. Click Create, and here it is. So I've created one track. And it's already selected. I can deselect it with command click. If I want to delete it, I go up to the track menu, pull down, and select delete. Is there a keyboard shortcut? No. For this you do not want that. You don't want to make it too easy to delete your tracks. Something you want to think about for a second before you do it. I'm going to now create 4 tracks. So Shift Command N, and I'm going to select 4 and 4 new mono audio tracks. And there we go. All selected already as they come up. Now I can command click any one of them to deselect them. If I want to select them and then continue that selection, just a standard Mac command, which is to shift click, and that allows me to continue a selection. If I want to deselect any one of them, command click, as I said, or to select any one of them, it's the same thing. Or if I want to deselect all of them, option click. We'll deselect the whole thing. Or we'll select them all, one or the other. That's option click I'm doing now. I can click on any one of them. See, it selects all of them. Command click will just select a single one. So let's see, we can select discontiguous ones. Or I can continue. You see that will deselect. Now if I select this, watch what happens. It fills them all up. Now you really want to get into the habit of naming your tracks. You want to do that right off the bat. You don't want to wait till you've recorded anything and then record after the fact. Before you record any audio, you want to rename or name those tracks something other than audio. So I'm going to name it. Let's call this one drums. Now I'm just going to go to the next one, the next track down. You could click next here, and that'll bring you to the next one. Or you can command down arrow will also bring you to the next track. And I'll call this keyboard and guitar. There you go, I've got my 4 tracks there. I can reorder them if I like. Right now the drums are the first one, but I could just grab on that name field and I could move them like so. Grab and drag. I can change the size of these tracks as well. So you see this thing here looks like a ruler. So I can hold on that and I can select a larger display. Or if I want to change them all, option and do the same thing, and they will all go to that size. Alternatively, you can also grab at the bottom of the track here, and also by holding option, that will also move them all. Now let's take a look at this gadget right here. So I'm going to click on this, and we see that we've got all of these columns that we can open up. Now I've got minimal ones now. Here I'm going to open all of them up. There they go. So starting with the left, I've got comments, and you can write stuff in here if you want. These are for other things, other types of tracks that we don't have right now up. The instrument track, this doesn't pertain to this particular track. Inserts, as we're going to learn later in the semester, this is for inserting or putting in what we call plugins. You know, that plugin I tried to open earlier when I opened up Pro Tools, that I would put that in there if I had it. This is for sends, and we're going to learn that sends are a way to send signal between tracks. Again, we're going to learn about that later. This is our I/O, very important column. This should always be displayed. So this shows us our input, our output, our volume, and our pan. So this is all. There's also a little gadget here to click to create a little external floating fader. Now I'm going to click all these guys. You can make them all go away at once or by collecting minimal. But as I said, you certainly want to have your I/O. That's super important to have that up and running, you know, and visible to you all the time. Definitely need that. Another cool thing here, you know, I say that it's a cool thing because it's not really operationally pertinent, but it is visually and aesthetically pertinent, and that is the ability to colorize your tracks. Now this is this bar right here. So I can click any one of these, and I can make all of my tracks display a different color. Now if they're all selected, they're all going to take the same color. For instance, let's say I were to do this, and then select that, and they're all going to be the same color. So we don't want that. So I'm just going to select this one. Let's make this blue. Leave that one as gaudy green. Let's make this one red. Let's make this one this powder blue kind of thing. And there, we're colorized. So now you can very easily at a glance see what track is what by seeing what color it is. And that's what we got for today.